You know, you're
Yeah,
blind. That's who we are. You're blind.
you're
Yeah,
blind.
right.
Exactly.
That's life. But then again, if the other person thinks you're cursed, see, this is the problem. If the other person thinks you're cursed, then it doesn't, in a sense, matter what you think. It doesn't matter that you know the truth. What
No.
matters is that they've written you off as cursed. It's a big it's a big problem. It doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me. I mean, I'm sure that this is how people in many countries around the world feel this way, especially in the continent where you are in Africa. But I've also spoken to people in Asia
Yeah.
too. That whole curse thing, that's a big problem in Nepal and Tibet and China and that part of the world. They really believe it there. Some people out in the villages really truly believe that. So it's very disheartening. It's very frustrating. But um, really, the only thing that can be done is that people can, educate themselves about the truth, right? Get onto podcasts, you know? So, onto a much brighter note, Lamin, you spend a lot of time on the radio in Gambia. As a matter of fact, you have your own radio station. Tell us about it.
Well, actually, for now, it's just a Facebook page. I just named it, a radio because I am dreaming of having a radio, but currently, as situation stands, it is almost not possible to have to get my own radio, equipment by myself. So and going to the media radio station, other radio stations, around the country. Sometimes, it's difficult. They don't take it as they don't take it as very serious. In fact, many people, not myself directly, but I know people, that who normally, write applications to radio stations so that they can give them airtime, to do, advocacy for blinds. But, most of the requests are rejected, you know,
Hmm.
most of the requests are rejected
Well,
because
you.
because the blind cannot, afford, to pay, an airtime over the radio. So, as somebody who is very much, interested on radio stuff, so I decided to just create that Facebook page, where I can just come, do my little stuff there, dreaming of, I don't know, one day, I don't know how long will it take, to get even a website for myself, to create radio rather than to have a physical radio equipment and stuff. So it is just a Facebook page. So the Facebook page is called Blind Network Radio Gambia, and
Click the link, and listener, click the link in the description for more info.
very good. So the radio is, basically run by me, and I normally bring on my colleagues, who are also blind or who are advocates, for persons with disability, to come there and voice out, our problems, our opinions in all aspects of life, So basically, that's it.
Amazing. Loving that. Perfect, man. Well, the first thing I want to say is that if you know anyone in Gambia who's blind or who needs to tell their story, you send them right on over to Aaron's Opinion, because I would be honored to have them on my show so that they can tell their story and use this podcast as a motivation and a mode of education. So I would be happy to help them on this podcast by letting them come here and talk to me, provided they speak English. They're, well, of course, everyone's welcome on my podcast, whether you speak English or not. But especially if you want to record an episode, um, do these other colleagues, do they speak English well like you? What do you think?
Oh yes, they can speak English. I hope you followed, some of the programs that I posted on the page. Most of them are done in English. So yeah, some can really speak English very well. You know.
Well, good. That is good. Um, but I mean, I understand that you said that some of these other blind people have faced some difficulties in approaching radio stations in Gambia. But have you have you ever contacted any radio stations or any journalists in your country to raise awareness for things?
Oh, currently on a personal level, no. But the problem is, I get discouraged in doing some of those things
Yeah.
after hearing some of those stories. Even though we are working on it again, because we formed an advocacy group called PAVIT. That is called the Patriotic Association for Visually Impaired of the Gambia, and we want to write application to few radio stations to request if they can offer us airtime. So I don't know whether they when we write those applications, whether they are going to accept it or not. So, but on a personal level, I've never tried it because I always feel discouraged,
Yeah. Yeah.
after
Hmm.
hearing some of the stories.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that can be very frustrating, this constant struggle of knowing who to reach out to, who would be willing to listen to stories and willing to publish information. Well, just know the journalist that you and all your blind friends in Gambia should contact is Aaron's opinion right here. I can be a journalist and help as
Yeah,
best I can. Your guys are always welcome here. Yeah, it's really important, I think, to find people who are genuine, who are truly motivated to help people and truly interested in what they're producing and what their content is. So that's something that is very very important to me. Hmm.
indeed, indeed. That is very important, and I think if people pay attention, they will really know that the blind community in the Gambia also have a story to tell, and yes, sometimes we also have some beautiful stories to tell, but there are lots
This
of
time's a beautiful story.
challenges.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah, but as well, again, there are challenges that we want the people to be aware about, and so that steps could be taken to reduce some of those challenges.
So if you could, today or starting tomorrow, if you could fix one problem in Gambia, what problem would you fix?
But currently, to the blind, what concerns me most is the educational sector. You know, if I'm to fix any problem, I would make sure, the educational sector of the blinds is fixed, because we have lots of big problems in the educational sector.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, in Gambia, would a blind person be able to go to the university?
Um, yes, there are a few of them who are going to the university, depending if you get the, right requirements. Yes, they are.
Right. So you probably, or so I should say, do you need to pass a matriculation to go to the university?
Well, upon a completion of your grade 12, so there is amount and a grade that is required. We call it a aggregate. So you must have aggregate 5 beyond or beyond. so that you can go to the university. Um,
Right. Right. So why did you choose to study? I think. Well, what? So I mean, you teach. So you teach social studies and things like that. Did you study sociology?
well, I went to the college, to study teaching in general. So, but like, you have to specialize on two subjects currently. So in that, that's where I chose English and this social studies. Well, you know, it's not an advanced studies whereby you should go and study. You will go and study sociology in general. So basically, it does not require that. It did not require that. So I did not study sociology in itself. So basically, as I told you, the study is you know full of history, colonial history, Europe, before 1500s, Europe before 1800, imperialism, and few about African history, African empire, and subject and topics like that. That's what it contains. So, and also we are normally taught to go and teach junior school students. So, which sometimes most of them uh, you know, you have to, talk to them in a lower level because due to the level of education here, so it's not as fast as it is. So yeah, that's it.
Hmm. Hmm. All fascinating. Yes. So in the school where you teach, are you teaching in English or the Gambian language?
No, we teach in English because the
Ah, good.
Gambia officially speaks English.
Right, right. And I'm fascinated by languages. What is your language called if you are not speaking English? Like, what languages do you speak like at home or amongst yourselves? What are they called?
Well, I'm speaking a language called Mandinka at home.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mandinka. So and Wolof when I'm normal outside or chat who cannot speak Mandinka.
that's interesting. Yes, I see. Yeah, those are very famous languages, especially Wolof. Yeah, that is the language
Yeah.
that is spoken in that country. Oh, I'm forgetting it now. The country
In
that
Senegal.
Senegal. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Yes, it was made famous by being spoken in Senegal along with French. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
How many languages do you think there are in Gambia?
Well, we have quite a few, but not very much. In fact, the main ones are about six, seven. We could have others, but the main ones are about something like that, six, seven, or eight of them. Because the country is very small. It's
Right.
not that big, so it is not that much that very diverse. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting though because size of a country does not dictate the number of languages or the linguistic diversity. If you look into it, if you look at like a country called Croatia, Croatia has over 300 languages. So it just depends on the different groups of people who live
So,
there. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. In Croatia, every town or city has their own language. It's a very linguistically diverse place. Yeah, that type of thing fascinates me, being that I speak French. I'm someone who appreciates, being able to speak, more than one language. I think that's a local. I think that's a life skill, definitely. Hmm.
indeed.
And where have you traveled to, by the way, outside of Gambia?
No, I've never traveled outside Gambia.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Well, where would you like to go in the future? What do you think?
Well, in the future, I like to travel to many places, and get, experience all over the